We had a damaged property or a B&E to a vehicle on Main Street in Ellenboro. There was a 2001 Buick LeSabre had the window broken. Nothing appeared to be taken, however. There was a B&E in Larceny on Doggett Road. Someone got into the victim's garage, took a Husqvarna 150 BT backpack blower valued at $330, and a Stihl KM3R weed eater valued at $250. We had a larceny on Spring Valley Drive in Union Mills. Looks like there was a $75 heart-shaped locket that was taken, the 14-karat gold cross charm valued at $25, as well as a checkbook that belonged to the victim was taken in that incident. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
All right, Sheriff, thank you very much. Everything else going well with you?
No complaints, sir, no complaints.
Good. Living a dream, right?
That's right. Do need to get people out to the polls. We got one more week from today, and we early voting will stop on Saturday, so we got to get people out. Low turnout, but we need people to take care of this important obligation that we have.
Yeah. Maybe they'll get excited toward the end of the week, realize it's almost here.
I hope so. Thank you, sir.
Sir, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sheriff Chris Francis reporting in this morning from the Sheriff's Department. We'll get to 911 Communications Center next. And many of you love yard sales. I know you do. And I know a bunch of you enjoy Anchor Down because it's kind of like an indoor yard sale, except much of the merchandise is new. And listen to this. Clothes and shoes, 50 cents. Pocketbooks, $2. Anchor Down carries small kitchen appliances, electronics, furniture. Most things are $5 or less with the exception of the antiques and the furniture. There are deals all over the store. Matter of fact, they get a new load every week. And sure, you may have to step over an item to get to another, but that's part of the fun of browse shopping, isn't it? Anchor Down is located at 155 West Main Street, downtown Forest City, right across from Carolina Chiropractic. Anchor Down is open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 until 3. Today's Tuesday, so they are there today. Come see for yourself what an exciting place that is to shop. Anchor Down in Forest City. Here's Tina now with the 911 Communications Center report. Tina, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on your report today?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 348 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 49 for EMS, 108 for the Sheriff's Office, 51 for Forest City, 34 for Rutherford, 4 for Lake Lure, and 23 for Spindale. Under fire calls, we had Sandy Mush respond to a motor vehicle accident, and that's all we had.
Thanks so much, Tina. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, the Braves are on a series now with Boston. They play again this evening. They were off last night. They play this evening. Boston Red Sox, and is that 6:05 airtime for that game tonight. Braves throughout the season, and we still have a few of those pocket schedules. It's very popular every year out about this time, and if you'd like some, just stop by here. We'll be glad to share that with you. Now we're going over to Danieltown, SDO Fire District. And Ruby Taylor, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday counter, I've got Debbie Toms, Arthur Rollins, Mandy Mosley, and Reverend Chris Fox is having birthdays. Hope they have a nice day. And Mr. and Miss Faye Mars have an anniversary. Hope they have a nice day, and the signs are in the bells today and tomorrow. And, Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. You enjoy your day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that's Danieltown SDO report. Now we're going up to Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Gary Wilson reporting from there, and also he covers the Bills Creek Fire District as well. Gary Wilson's one of those true men who stay with us, have stayed with us a long time. Used to be over at the resort area there, reported from there, Bills Creek, and retired, and they went back, and now he's back with us, and we appreciate Gary Wilson so much being a part of the fire district reports from Fairfield Mountains Fire District, and also reporting from Bills Creek. And we'll have him on this morning. Sun is shining, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Looks like it's going to be getting up to about 80 for a daytime high today, which is not bad summer-like weather. Wind will be gusting to about 16 miles per hour. The dropping back tonight, clear, lows around 53 tonight. Now here is Gary Wilson. Gary's reporting from Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing well. Looking outside, I see the sun peeking around the corners. Looks good today.
I thought we were going to get up about 80 today, they said, so that's my kind of weather weather out there.
You'll have to put on your BBDs and go fishing, Gary.
Yes, yeah, ain't much too much longer. I'll head down that way and start fishing some around here. Maybe head down toward Florida sometime in the next couple of months and try about a week's work down there and see how it goes.
Good for you.
Kind of getting the itch right now. I'm needing this jacket with a cane pole. But we had a quiet night up here overnight. No calls or anything. We're sitting about 47. A little cool start this morning, but it's going to get up pretty nice today. We'll get even warmer than the rest of the week. Sounds like maybe a day or two in there we'll have a little bit of scattered showers around. But other than that, everything's going on pretty good and peaceful in the neighborhood. And hope it'll stay that way.
Yeah, I hope so. So both departments been pretty quiet then.
They have, yeah.
Good,
sure
good. That's good. Good. Gary, thank you so much. Enjoy your Tuesday, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.
All right, we'll talk to you then.
Thanks. Bye-bye. And that's reported from the mountains of Fairfield Mountains. And we cover the county here with this Call Around News Report. Been doing it for a long, long time, and hopefully continue to do it for a long, long time to come. You've supported it. You've been a fan of it. We appreciate that very much. You know, I've talked with folks who really, they don't have insurance, don't have much insurance, and they're afraid to go to the doctor, afraid to go to the hospital because they don't have insurance. Well, let me tell you, imagine quality primary health care and urgent care services for you without all that hassle. It's available to you and your family from Brock Family Care. Family medicine the way it ought to be. No insurance to deal with, general primary medical care, chronic disease prevention and management, urgent care, medication management, and so much more. So if you're worried about not going to the doctor because you don't have insurance, depend on Brock Family Care. It's a membership-based model where patients pay your primary care provider directly through a monthly or an annual fee rather than paying through an insurance provider. You know, some doctors and clinics won't accept you if you don't have insurance. Not accepting any forms of health insurance cuts out the hassles and allows for more personalized and affordable health care. It may be time to move into this health plan like this one for your family or your business. Call today for more information. Here's the number, 828-382-7782. The health care the way it should be. Brock Family Care, 289 Shallow Road, Forest. Either look them up on the web at brockfamilycare.com. All right, let's check in now with DeVern over in Bostic to find out what's been happening. DeVern, what's going on over there?
Well, we've got a very cool morning over here in Boston this morning. It's 48 degrees. Fire department had no calls. They did have their meeting last night. And Boston Baptist Church homecoming is this Sunday. The pastor invites everyone out. Graduation for the high schools are upon us. We'd like to congratulate all of the students and go by Washburn store and visit those nice folks and check out their items, and hope everyone has a nice day.
All right, DeVern, thank you very much. You enjoy your day as well. Thanks for the report, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we'll check in with Bob Hodge here in just a moment over the Hudlow Fire District, see what's been going on. I don't know about you, but I'm loving this beautiful morning. Looks like we're going to have sunny skies all the way through, at least through Friday. And there may be some partly cloudy skies with maybe a chance of early showers and nothing major there. Then Saturday, scattered showers and a chance of thunderstorms, about a 50-50 chance again there on Saturday. So next few days, summer-like weather, and it is nice, nice, nice. Be a good time to stroll in the park. And we're going over to Hudlow Fire District now and talk with Mr. Bob Hodge. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Tuesday morning.
It is.
Look cool morning up here this morning.
Boy, it is, isn't it? You almost have to have a jacket on this morning.
That's right, for a little while anyway, and then you'll have to pull it off there.
That's right.
A little later, because it's going to get up warm, look like. So, but look like it's going to be a nice day up here, and with the fire department, we've answered one medical call. Been pretty quiet with the fire department, and the homecoming and decoration day this coming Sunday, May the 15th, at Mount Hebron Methodist Church, and be service at 10 a.m. and lunch at the Mount Vernon Clubhouse following the service there. And, Jim, that's about all I have. So far, things running along good up here this morning.
That's good. We've had 2 or 3 good, quiet days, haven't we?
That's right. So maybe it'll stay that way there.
Let's hope so.
So just get out and enjoy this sunny weather we're having right now. Be safe there.
Bob, you have a great day up there. Thanks for talking with us, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's Bob Hodge reporting in from the Hudlow Fire District, and we're moving around. We'll get over to the Cherry Mountain Fire District next and find out what's happening there with Sue Price and her community there. Always nice to talk to our reporters. It gives us a good feel of where they are and around the county. We have a pretty wide coverage. We do have room for a couple more fire districts. If you'd like for your community to be involved in this call-around report, it's been going on now for about 57 years and very popular, still growing. So if your community, your fire district, we like to have the reports from the fire departments and anything else happening in your community. So if your community is not represented, be sure to contact someone, let us know, and we'll be glad to contact them if they're willing to be on the radio with us Monday through Friday or possibly even Monday through Saturday. And they have a spokesperson, an alternate spokesperson, and get them where your community is involved too. So we like to know what's happening around Rutherford County. We're hometown-friendly kind of people, so that helps us. And we're attempting to get in touch now with one of our reporters over there in the Cherry Mountain Fire District, and that'll be Sue Price. To remind you, the Braves are on the road, and they're with Boston. And we'll have that action for you tonight. Boston with tonight and Wednesday. The Braves are off on Thursday, and then they take on a series with the Padres. Braves are sort of up and down. They're winning some and losing some, but they'll get cranked up, find their mojo, and who knows, they may be another world champion at the end of the season. We hope so anyway. All right, here's Sue Price. Her light's flashing now, so let's get over and talk with see her what's going on. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
Everything well with you?
Everything's all right as far as I know.
Good.
Looks like we're going to have another pretty day.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Well, I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I guess they were quiet. Don't have any birthdays on my church calendar today. On my personal calendar, I've got, let's see, can't quite see it. Okay. Okay, it's an anniversary for Harold and Phoebe Terry. So I hope they'll have a good day today. And nothing on the other two calendars for today. So don't have to. Let's see. Wait a minute. Fairview's got a birthday for Ruth Van Dyke, so I hope Ruth's going to have a good day. And we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. Don't have too many on my calendars this month. It's just not a big month for birthdays and anniversaries. And in my announcements, the Duncans Creek Church will be having their Memorial Day service on the first Sunday in June. So, and there'll be a lunch to follow, picnic lunch to follow. So I always look forward to the Memorial Days and getting to see people that you hadn't seen in a long time. But I reckon that's the only announcement I have, Jim. It's just quiet and calm, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks, Sue. I hope you have a great day as well, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. And, of course, that was Sue Price reporting out of the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Always happy to talk with her as we move around the county. Now, we have coming up at noon today, 12:05, is the talk show between Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Talk show. They were once filled in after Rush passed on. It's an interesting format of talking. They'll be here 12 to 3 this afternoon, so we'll have that program for you, and we hope you'll stay tuned. We got a lot of different variety of programming here on WC. We don't do the same thing. We're not a jukebox. We try to keep you informed as well as entertained, and hopefully sometimes inspired. We try to do that this morning. We had to schedule an interview. The one scheduled to be interview for the school board said he couldn't come today, so we was filling in that spot with Congressman Patrick Henry. He came by to see me last week and said, let's talk a little bit. So we did an interview with him, and I was going to play that this morning during that 8:30 time slot to fill in for Jeremy, who was not coming for his interview. And now with the Phantom all broken down, and I'm not sure I'm going to have a chance to get that on. Well, maybe we can get that on a little bit later. We're trying to do our best to get as many of the politicians on as we can, to be as fair to everybody as we possibly can. And it's difficult sometimes to please everybody. Some folks, well, you did this, you didn't do that, and this, that, and the other. Well, we don't do anything, omit anybody on purpose. We try to give everybody the same amount of time, same amount of frequency, the schedule so everybody is fairly treated. And tempers get hot during this time of year. Unfortunately, people make a lot of rumors and innuendos this time of year, which is unfortunate. People just work on the facts and know who the candidates are, learn who the candidates are, find out if they represent what you represent or don't represent what you represent, and then make your choices from there. Don't rely on rumors and make-ups and somebody making up something. And there's a lot of that going on right now, so just be careful what you hear to believe. There used to be a little song years ago. We used to be careful, little ears, what you hear. Be careful, little ears, what you hear. For the Father above looks down with his love. So be careful, little ears, what you hear. And the same goes through, be careful, little mouth, what you say. So anyway, that's a little, that's what's happening right now. A lot of things being said about, that are not true about candidates that you love and appreciate. And it's just unfair. Let's find out who they are. If you don't know who they are, call them and sit down with coffee and find out who they are. And we'll have the voting, of course, next Tuesday, a week from today, is the official voting day, actual voting day. Early voting is going on now through Saturday, but voting will take place next Tuesday. All right, we're going up to Shingle Hollow this morning and talk with Tina White, see what's happening up there. Tina, how you doing?
I am doing well. Well, good morning from Shingle Hollow. It is a beautiful morning up here. It's around 49 degrees. Sun is shining bright. It's just so pretty.
Beautiful day to be alive, isn't it?
It is, yes. So how are you this morning, Jim, besides the computer being down?
I'm trying my best to stay above the fray and keep a smile on my face and understand that this too will pass.
Yes, this too shall pass, and you're never forsaken, so
that's a good thing.
Well, up here in Shingle Hollow this morning, we have a birthday, which is off of Pilgrim Way's calendar. It's for Miss Tamara Weed. I hope she has a wonderful birthday. And we have no other birthdays or anniversaries, but we've got an announcement. White House Community Clubhouse is having a community tent revival. They've got a big tent up there, and at 7 p.m. every night this week through Friday the 13th. They'll have speakers, and everyone is invited to come out to that. So, again, that's White House Community Clubhouse is having a community tent revival, 7 p.m. each night this week. And as far as I know, that's all we have going on up here this morning. Our fire department was quiet the past 24 hours. And yesterday morning, mistaken. Sunday morning, they assisted Union Mills with a house fire, structure fire, and it was a total loss. But now in the past 24 hours, they've been quiet, and we're thankful for that.
I hate to hear about total losses.
I know. I'm glad they did get it put out, and there were no injuries.
That's a good thing. All right, Tina. Everything else okay?
Everything else is good as far as I know. Hope everybody has a very blessed day. Stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you, Tina. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, one thing I like about being local is we have the only locally owned new car dealership in the county is Sisk Family Ford. And they're proud of the fact that they are a family-operated business. I'm proud of the fact that they're local, and they are right here in Forest City. And when you get ready to trade cars or trucks, or want something new or something used, check with them first and support the local family-run business. Sisk Family Ford winning award after award for their service, the service department, and the way they handle customers. They are quality people, and you cannot go wrong by depending on Sisk Family to get your next car or truck. Sisk Family Ford, locally owned and locally operated, and the only locally owned business car dealership in the county. That's Sisk Family Ford, Forest City, North Carolina, U.S. of A. All right, we're going up to Union Mills now. Brenda Kelly, how you doing this morning?
I'm just fine on this terrific Tuesday morning. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm just fine on this terrific Tuesday morning.
With all kinds of difficulties.
Oh, boy.
But it'll be all right. You're doing a fine job, so don't worry about it.
Well, thank you. We'll get through it. We've been down roads like this many times in our life.
I mean, you hadn't always had computers, so there you go.
Well, that's right. And it does make a difference when you have a computer and you depend on it, and everything's on the computer, and you go by that, and then when it's not there, you sort of, years ago before computers, we had everything in front of us on paper, and had printouts and logs in front of us, and we knew what was coming up next. But things on the computer, you just depend on it being there, and all of a sudden it's not there, and you can't pull the networks down because it's all tied in the computer. It gets a little frustrating, but Todd told me down back here. He's making sure I don't blow a gasket.
You have to go back and write it down and do stuff like that till you can get it figured out.
Makes you appreciate the good old days.
That's exactly right. Well, let's see. I've got 44 degrees on the front porch this morning. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries, but in ways of announcements, Camp Creek Baptist Church homecoming, May the 15th. This is their 200th year celebration. Meal to follow worship service. Bring a well-filled picnic basket, and everyone's welcome. And then Friday, May the 13th, 6 p.m., sub-sandwich meal, $6. 7 p.m., the new primitive band. This is at the Union Mills Learning Center. There's no admission for the music, but you do have a tip jar available for the band. Then the Gilkey School Community Center will have a buffet breakfast on May the 14th, starting at 7 a.m. and going to 10 a.m. Adults, $8. Kids, 6 to 12, $3. Kids 5 and under, free. And money goes to help support the community center. And so far, that's all I got going on that I know of. So,
okay,
sweet, quiet, and cool.
Your day gonna be pretty quiet, or you got big plans?
It's gonna be quiet. I hope. I hope nothing out of the ordinary happens. But if it does, I'll do like you. I'll just handle it and go on.
There you go. Just deal with it and move on. That's right.
That's all we can do, ain't it?
Doesn't pay to get angry. Doesn't pay to fuss and fume and fight.
Get your blood pressure up and have a heart attack.
That's right. That's right.
but you go down and check to Ellenburg, check on Luther Sweet Thing. And then after that, just get you a cup of coffee and relax a minute.
I'll do that. I'll see you next time.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye-bye. Brenda Kelly reporting from Union Mills. And indeed, we will go to Ellenboro and talk with Luther Gilligan to find out what's happening over there, see if it's nice and quiet. It should be nice and quiet over there. When you when you go by the drop-in Family Mart over in Bostic, you'll find this large store, meat market in place, steaks, pork chops, roasts, filet mignon. They open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. The beautiful produce department, grapes, apples. They got chicken, Major Lee's chicken, potato wedges, pizza, beef dogs. They got breakfast unlike you'll find any place else. Call in your order. They'll have it ready for you. If you need the help, they can help you take your groceries to the car for you. They're that personal, that friendly, and they've got a great operation going there. Formerly Sammy's, but they're on the Bostic Sunshine Highway right across to the post office. Personal service like nobody else. That's drop-in Family Mart there in Bostic. All right, Luther Gilligan, good morning to you at Ellenboro.
Good morning to you, too. It's a nice morning down here this morning.
I'm glad you're happy.
Hey, I'm happy. I got up, got my boots on. That's a good day.
That's a good day.
It's good. A lot of people couldn't get up this morning. But we're having a good morning there. It's quiet this morning. Well, I had a quiet day yesterday. Part of the pub didn't have any calls yesterday last night. Everybody got to sleep and enjoy good times. But nothing else going on down here. But we want to wish happy birthday to Miss April Snell. She's having a birthday today, so hope she has a great day and enjoys her day. And Jim, we hope you have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that. You enjoy your day. Keep us posted on what's been going on.
All right, take care now.
Thanks. I'll see you next time. And it's time for birthdays and anniversaries. If you want to call those in to us, we can still do birthdays and anniversaries. 287-3356. And this is the 10th day of May, May 10th. Check your pulse to make sure this is your birthday or not, your anniversary or not, and let's celebrate. Todd standing by out there to take that call, 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up in just a moment. Right after we make sure that you know that Granny B's has a good breakfast over there. They have a good lunch over there. They have great, delicious daylight donuts, and they can fill your menu up with a happy smile. Now, if you need to take something back to the office with you, let them prepare that for you, and you can take breakfast or you can take lunch back over there in those delis. They can fix that. They can put anything you want on top of that, and along with meat or without meat. It's just a great place to have a variety of choices. Granny B's there in Spindale, right next to the Shake Shop. So enjoy yourself with a good meal from Granny B's. All right, we don't have our birthday music coming in this morning because it's all tied in with the computer. But if Todd come back here and sing Happy Birthday tune, we'll do birthdays. I don't see him moving, so he must not be wanting to sing this morning. So let's see if we get birthdays and anniversaries on for this 10th day of May. So we'll see. He's coming back now to the Blue. We'll see if he'll sing the Happy Birthday tune for us. Todd, you gonna sing the Happy Birthday tune?
Happy birthday. I can't do the music.
That's enough. All right, celebrating birthday today is Chris Waters, 52 today, and Chris Fisher is 50, and Keith Turner. He's executive at BB&T. He's having a birthday as well, so happy birthday to these folks. 1838, John Wilkes Booth was born. He was the one who assassinated Abraham Lincoln. 1899, Fred Astaire, dancer and actor, was born. And Maybelle Carter, country singer, was born 1909. She died in 1978. Some of the events on this day include 1797, first U.S. Navy ship the United States is launched. 1869, completing the first U.S. transcontinental railroad, the Golden Spike, is driven in Utah. 1877, President Rutherford B. Hayes has first telephone installed in the White House. And they called him and they said, your car warranty is running out. So he hung up on them. 1908, first Mother's Day was observed. 1983, Laverne and Shirley aired the final episode. Thank goodness. National Clean Up Your Room Day and National Shrimp Day and National Washington Day. So now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB. Keys to Confident Living coming up next, and we'll play some music from down memory lane.
Life has limits, rules governing our actions and relationships. They are in existence to protect us. They were created to enhance the quality of life. A prime example is the Ten Commandments. God gave them to Moses to provide the rules by which we are to live. They are limiting in that they forbid actions that have a negative effect on both us and our fellow man. Another example are the speed limits on our streets and highways. They were established as guidelines so that we can travel in safety. One road in life, however, has no enforced speed limits. It's the road to excellence. There are no restrictions or constraints on this road. We can accelerate as fast as we want, moving forward at a pace that's comfortable for us. We can speed up or slow down as necessary from our own perspective. We set our own goals. We decide what we want to do. We can choose excellence and success, or mediocrity and just getting by. We can strive for quality and achievement, or be willing to accept shoddiness and failure. We can move toward excellence, or we can run from it. It's up to us. We are free to make the decision. Striving for excellence in our spiritual and moral life is a worthy objective. The Apostle Paul says that we are to make it our goal to please God at all times. However, we can't be successful in our own power and strength. But what we can't do on our own, the Lord will help us to do if we will just ask Him. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
so that you can retire and retire comfortably and not stress out, because it is the times of the day that you see things that are stressing out. Or let me talk to another sector. People like me, what am I to do now that I'm trying to get to retirement? Be very, very diligent and aggressive, because now is the time to really, that your wealth will build a lot better. Because as the market declines, values start popping up. It's a very hard situation to really swallow, but when people are afraid, then you jump in. When people are really greedy and not wanting to sell anything, you don't really want to buy anything. But right now could be a very, very good time to start really pumping in more to your retirement. What about health care? Health care, how do I factor all that in? Because health care is going to be one of your biggest expenses in retirement. Just check out your options. Employer health care benefits like COBRAs, or is your spouse going to continue work? Can you get on there? Don't look past the Affordable Care Marketplace. You can find really good opportunities there if you just sit down and work through it. This is not a time to really panic. This is not a time we've not been through. If you're thinking about retiring, don't shut it off. If you're building for retirement, really, really, really get diligent in what you're doing. And if you're looking for health care, it's a good time to really start planning that out, because there are options out there and you can do this.
Well said, sir. I believe you know what you're talking about.
I try my best.
Got a busy day ahead of you?
I do today. We've got, of course, work today, and got some appointments. The market, again, is, it ain't the best it's ever been, but it's nothing we've never been through.
Not anything to run away from.
Not anything to run away from. I know it's going to cause nervousness because we see it on the day-by-day thing. Mm-hmm. But for examples, we need to look at it from a larger standpoint. And we've been there before. We've had worse before. And what if it's going to get worse? That's okay. We've been there before. There's ways that we can battle that.
As they say down home, been there, done that.
Been there, done that, made it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us how they get in touch with you best.
Give us a call, 828-287-9197, or stop by. It's at 233 Charlotte Road, Rutherford, North Carolina, 28139.
You have a wonderful day and a good week.
My pleasure.
I'll
Good to see you.
Bye. Senator Tisdale reporting in from Edward Jones, making sense of investing here every Tuesday morning here on the program. And we're so glad he is able to come by and getting good results from you. Some news from here and there coming up in just a few moments, along with the sheriff's report. They still need some help as cabin leaders and a food service manager for the summer at South Mountain Christian Camp 2022. If you can help spread the word on this, or if you yourself are qualified and capable of doing this, cabin leaders and food service manager at South Mountain Christian Camp for this season. Any young adults you might be interested in working with kids, send them to www.southmountainchristiancamp.org/employment. They'd be glad to talk with you about that, or call them at 245-3322. Be a great place to work this summer. Work with some kids and give them the right perspective and serve the Lord and make some money. Hicks Grove will have a memorial service with the dinner following on Sunday, May 15th at 11 a.m. Pastor Brian Cole and Reverend Donald Helton Jr., Minister of Music, invite you and your family to come be a part of the memorial service at Hicks Grove on Sunday, May 15th at 11 o'clock. And as we've said already many times in the past, this is early voting week and closes out on Saturday. We'll be open on Saturday till about 2 o'clock. On Saturday, it's same location, 2 locations. Once that's closed on Saturday, you cannot vote again until Election Day, which is Tuesday, the 17th. A lot of different offices. Some of them will be in District 10, and you'll get a different ballot from District 11. It's because the federal offices are the same. U.S. Senate offices are the same because they run statewide. U.S. District 10 has different candidates than District 11 does. And then there are state offices running for North Carolina Supreme Court, Associate Justice Seat 5. They will be the same. Seat 9, Court of Appeals, will be the same. Seat 11, Court of Appeals, will be the same. District offices, the court judge, District 29A, Seat 3. There are 2 candidates running there, and everybody will have the same ones there. District attorney, everybody will have the same ones there. And then the county offices, Board of Commissioners, they are running to District 4, District 5, and everybody have the same ballot there in the county. It's just the House, U.S. House District, and State House and Senate will be different for different people. The Board of Education, District 3, everybody gets the same ballot. District Clerk of Superior Court, everybody gets the same ballot. And for the sheriff, everybody gets the same ballot. So it is a little different for the way they have the county split up and divided in the districts, but they'll tell you exactly where you are and to vote. And if you have not, you're not sure if you've moved, they'll straighten that out when you get to the polls as well. So just let them know you live in a different district now, different precinct, and they will work all that out for you. Well, some of the stories from here and there, a woman was killed and a man was injured after they were struck by a car in a North Carolina town. Police said, Kings Mountain Police said officers went to an intersection around 8:05 on Sunday where they found a man and a woman lying in the street. The Star of Shelby reported Minnie Lee Clinton, 76, was pronounced dead at the hospital while Rodney Jamal Clinton, 45, was treated for non-life-threatening injuries and released. An investigation led police to a home where they found Frederick Wilson, 67. Police charged Wilson with hit and run, death by motor vehicle, and going armed to the terror of the public. Police provided no specifics on the latter charge. He was being held in the Cleveland County Slammer on a $75,000 bond. The clerk of court office said Wilson waived his right to a court-appointed attorney, but hadn't hired an attorney to represent him as of Monday afternoon. And so that occurred over there in Kings Mountain, and reporting it to you, so you'll be informed also. Well, for over 2 years now, Thomas Roop of Union Mills, you've heard him here to give the rain gauges and the rain depths as he reports to the Weather Center. Thomas Roop, good friend of ours, has been eagerly waiting for his chance to take a visit to Washington and spend days with veterans visiting the various war memorials. But the COVID pandemic came along and changed everything, including the visits to Washington made possible by the Blue Ridge Honor Flight Organization. Blue Ridge Honor Flights began flying out of Asheville in 2006. The group organizes the flights and tours specifically for veterans who served in America's wars at no cost to the veterans. Blue Ridge is focused on veterans of western North Carolina, but there are similar organizations all across the United States, but we know about the one here. Lisa Barrett, who has been on this program in the past, works with Edward Jones, was scheduled to be Roop's official volunteer guardian for this trip. Barrett said this trip has been scheduled and canceled, scheduled again and canceled again. It has been frustrating and disappointing, but we're happy that it is now going to take place. Past COVID surges, along with multiple public health mandates designed to keep the public safe, prevented the flights from taking place. Organizers now believe the flights and tours can take place safely. Barrett is a longtime supporter of the military and has had many relatives who are connected to the military. Her daughter served, and her son is currently serving. Barrett, through her church, also organizes the collection and transport of care packages for soldiers overseas. Barrett said veterans deserve to be honored. Many of the ones on the honor flights served in Vietnam and were not properly honored when they came home. These veterans need to know that we love them and care about them. Barrett had her official guardian training and orientation on Saturday. The honor flight is set for Saturday, May 21st. Barrett will be accompanying Roop along with other local veteran Bob Smith. She says she's excited but realizes it was somewhat bittersweet. She was originally scheduled to be the guardian for veteran Terry Anders, who died in 2019. He was a member of the U.S. Army in Vietnam and had received the Purple Heart. I know he was disappointed in not being able to make the trip. I remember him and others saying, we're not getting any younger. Barrett will be taking some flowers to Washington in memory of Anders. So that's a good trip, a story courtesy of the Daily Courier. The visit will be for one day. The group will fly out of Asheville at 7 a.m. and return to Asheville around 8:30 p.m. The day will be filled and will include the Veteran War Memorial, Korean War Memorial, World War II Memorial. The group will witness a changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. A special ceremony for all veterans connected to the honor flight will be held around noon at the Lincoln Memorial. A total of 91 veterans are expected on Blue Ridge Honor Flight. In addition to the Guardians, the flight will include other support and medical staff. A welcome home celebration will be held in the airport upon the arrival home. And if you need more information on all of this, contact Blue Ridge Honor Flights or to participate in the flight, visit www.blueridgehonorflight.com. And I salute folks like Lisa Barrett and others who make these trips possible, and for the veterans who get a chance to go, congratulations. Well, the Daily Courier is also reporting that African American women were celebrated April 24th at a forum in Rutherford, sponsored by the African American Heritage Museum of Rutherford County. The event featured African American women in business and community leadership from Rutherford County and surrounding areas. Doris Crute, one of the organizers, said there seems to be an effort to rewrite history, but it can't be erased. We must all be informed about our history as a guide to improve ourselves and our relationships with others. Knowing our history can deter us from making the same mistakes over again. Indeed, she is right. Crute was also moderator of the forum. Most of the presenters shared memories of struggles and indecisions as they strived to achieve their goals. They persevered, Crute said. Through it all, they can testify and say, "And still we rise." Let this inspire young African-American females to hold fast to their dreams of a successful, rewarding future, end quote. Forum participants represented fields of theology, medicine, business, politics, education, social and community development, and cosmetology. Music for the event, held at 1:13, was provided by the MLK Choir. Well, just a few days remain for early voting. If you want to early vote, you have to do that between now and Saturday at noon, about 2 o'clock. By noon on Friday, last Friday, just a little over 1,000 people, registered voters, had cast their ballots in the primary election. Most of those voting have been Republicans or those registered unaffiliated, as there are no competitive local Democrat races. Unaffiliated voters have the option of choosing whether to vote with the Republicans or Democrat ballot in the primary. There are two candidates seeking office who choose to bypass the primary process and run as independent candidates. In order for these candidates to appear on the November ballot, they must submit 1,817 signatures of valid Rutherford County voters to the Board of Elections by May 17th. Tony Robertson hopes to be on the ballot for sheriff, and as of Friday morning, he had submitted 1,681 signatures. Parker Tate is seeking the District 2 Board of Education seat. He has submitted 893 signatures. The early voting period continues through Friday, May 13th at 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and on Saturday, May 14th, 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. I've been saying 2 o'clock, but apparently it's 3 o'clock. Early voters may choose one of two places to vote: Rutherfordton at the County Building Annex, North Main Street, or in Spindale at Isothermal Community College Business Science Building, 286 ICC Loop Road. Those who choose to vote on primary election day, Tuesday, May 17th, must vote in your precinct. There'll be voting facilities up at all the precincts, and sample ballots may be seen on the Board of Elections website through rutherfordcountync.gov. If you're not sure who these folks are that are running, make a point of trying to get in touch with them to find out if they represent what you represent. The Chase High School and East Rutherford High School speech and debate teams have again found success in state competition. These two schools competed in the Tar Heel Forensic League Virtual State Championship Tournament Saturday, April 30th. Placing first or second or winning single flights of debate were Gavin Hughes, Kagan Mode, and Caleb Valacio, I guess I'm pronouncing that correct, from Chase High School. Brian Moreno was finalist in dramatic interpretation, placing 4th overall, as well as ranking 9th overall in original oratory. Jenna Willis was a finalist in original oratory, placing 6th overall. East Rutherford Executive Officer Zach Hoppus placed 8th overall in original oratory, 3rd overall in humorous interpretation, and was runner-up in dramatic interpretation. Chase Executive Officer Jonah Hill took first place in the dramatic interpretation and is the state champion of that event. During the award ceremony, Chase was named this year's state champion in the small school division. East Rutherford was recognized as the runner-up in the small schools division and was last year's small school champion. J. Patrick Moss, who coaches both teams, said, "As a coach, I would not be more proud of my students. They continually exceed expectations and put Rutherford County on the map." Good for them. Debating is a good thing for high school students. Public speaking and debating is a good thing. Well, the Sheriff's Report is coming up next with Sheriff Chris Francis.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 108 calls for service. There have been 17 arrests processed in the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 166. Among those arrested by the Sheriff's Office, Travis Scott Reed, 31-year-old male of Mooresboro, charged with failure to appear, received a $500 secure bond. Rakim Tasheen Franklin, 28-year-old male of Farsi, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear, received a $100,000 secure bond. Christine Peggy Lefford, 42-year-old female of Laurel Park, was charged with failure to appear, received a $500 secure bond. Jessica Nicole Lane, 36-year-old female of Spindale, was charged with 5 counts of failure to appear, received a $500 secure bond. Christopher Jesse Henderson, 23-year-old male of Emmons, South Carolina, was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of Schedule 2. Jason Troy Mothershead, 34-year-old male of Farsi, was charged with probation violation, drug paraphernalia, and possession of Schedule 2, and received a $13,500 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny on Whitesides Road. There was a Glock 40 caliber valued at $400 that was taken from an unlocked vehicle. We had a damaged property or a B&E to a vehicle on Main Street in Ellenborough. There was a 2001 Buick LeSabre had the window broken. Nothing appeared to be taken, however. There was a B&E and larceny on Doggett Road. Someone got into the victim's garage, took a Husqvarna 150 BT backpack blower valued at $330, and a Steel KM3R weed eater valued at $250. We had a larceny on Spring Valley Drive in Union Mills. Looks like there was a $75 heart-shaped locket that was taken, the 14-karat gold cross charm valued at $25, as well as a checkbook that belonged to the victim was taken in that incident. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
All right, Sheriff, thank you very much. Everything else going well with you?
No complaints, sir, no complaints.
Good. Thanks, Sheriff Chris Francis, for being with us this morning on the Sheriff's Report. And if you're wondering where sports is at this time, as I've indicated earlier this morning, our little man that runs in the wheel around the computer bank, the Phantom, he runs that little wheel. It keeps us going. He retired and fell over this morning, and our computer base that feeds all the programming into us is out. So we have not had anything down from the networks at all this morning. Anything out of the Phantom, anything that was in the Phantom that we present out is not there. We have the guru on the way to fix that. Hopefully, we've been able to do everything live from the Blue Room without any help from our programmed background computer. So that's where sports is. That's where the network news has been. It's not there because the computer is dead. But we can continue doing our own thing here. And we have some other news from here and there, and we'll take you down memory lane with some music. 9:05 this morning, My Great America with Jim and Butch will be live in the Blue Room without the theme music, of course. So we'll not have, unless Butch wants to sing that song, America the Beautiful, we'll have to go into it without the theme music, but that's okay. Could be worse. Could be worse. We will continue and have a couple of more stories, and then we'll back away and play some of the classic oldies, golden oldie music. I think I might have mentioned this the other day, but after 7 months of data collection and research, Rutherford County has launched a refreshed brand. The new brand was revealed at the County Commission meeting last week. Monday night and adopted. Rutherford County Manager Steve Garrison says the brand refresh, led by county officials in Rutherford and based design from artifacturing, better showcases to visitors and potential and current residents what it means to live, work, and play in Rutherford County. Garrison said, I'm excited to see us get to this point. Refreshing our county logo serves as a catalyst to reinforce the optimistic view that many of us have about our county's future and the direction we're headed. I'm so appreciative of everyone that was a part of this process. He continued, it would not have happened without the financial support from the Tourism Development Authority and its board. They're taking the lead on a lot of our asset development projects and are having a phenomenal impact in our communities. Tourism officials are also pleased with the new brand. Executive Director Don Cason of the Rutherford County Tourism Development Authority said, we're very excited about this new brand and Artifactoring's comments to working with such a varied group of people. Jenna Bailey, president of Artifactoring, presented the findings and branding recommendations to the commissioners. She worked with a diverse team of 10 county employees, including Garrison, to examine Rutherford County's strengths and challenges, as well as review several comparable North Carolina community brands. The new logo's tagline is Vibrant Communities, New Possibilities. Vibrant Communities, New Possibilities. That'll be the new logo for Rutherford County once they get all this kicked into place and moving forward. Well, I don't know how much you stay up top with everything, but as this time frame for the past few weeks, Tuesdays and Thursdays, this time frame we have opened that up for interviews with the candidates seeking election, and we're down to the, we're over to the school board. Today and Thursday will be our last interviews with the local candidates. Today, Jeremy Suits was scheduled to be on board. He had called earlier and said he would not be able to make it. So we were going to fill his spot in today with Congressman Patrick McHenry. He stopped by to see me last week, I guess it was. What is today, Tuesday? Yeah, he stopped by last week one day and to visit with me and say hello, and we decided to do an interview while he was here and talk about how things are in Washington. So we interviewed him, recorded that, placed it in the computer to play at this time frame today because we had this spot available. And as fate would have it, we're not going to be able to play it because it's tied in there with that computer where our little man running around a little wheel is not running around this morning. So we'll have to hopefully find some time to play Patrick McHenry's interview later on. Now, Thursday, we'll conclude our interviews. That'll be Julie Fincher. She's running for school board as well, and we'll have her, she has agreed to come and be a part of this interview process. That will conclude the interviews. Then come next Tuesday is Election Day. So we worked it out, programmed them, planned them right up to the very end, and we were not able to get all the candidates in. The judges, we were not able to get in due to time. We're not able to get the district attorney on the regular schedule. We had them in during My Great America with Jim Bush. We're not able to get the North Carolina House race, which is multi-county, nor the Senate race, nor the U.S. House race, or any of those because lack of time. And they're running in multi-county districts too. So we opted to stay close home with the local candidates and programmed it with the days we had available on Tuesdays and Thursdays right up to Election Day. So that's how that all worked out. And it works out pretty well with the exception of a few grunts and groans that we didn't include such and such a candidate. Well, that's the way it works out sometimes. But anyway, we are unfortunately unable to air the Patrick McHenry interview this morning, and we'll see what happens from this point on. You may know President Biden has announced on Thursday that when White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki leaves her job May 13th, which is coming up on Friday, she's leaving on Friday the 13th. She will be replaced by current Principal Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. In a video posted on YouTube in 2018 by Jean-Pierre's former employer, MoveOn.org, Jean-Pierre said, quote, "I am everything Donald Trump hates," end quote. She says, "I'm a black woman, I'm gay, and I'm a mom. Both my parents were born in Haiti, and they came here for the American dream. When I think about my daughter, I know one day as she's learning about Donald Trump and as she's learning about this political movement, she's going to look at me and be like, "What did you do, Mama? Like, what were you doing when all this craziness was happening?" John Pierre said in this 2018 video. And I want to be able to tell her this is what I was doing. I was working for MoveOn.org. John Pierre continued, "We organized, we fought, and we made sure that we beat back this bigotry, this hate that was espousing from 1600 Pennsylvania," end quote. Well, on October 23rd, 2020, the Haitian Times said in a profile of Jean Pierre, at the age of 16, Jean Pierre came out as a lesbian to her mother, a harrowing experience, she recounts in her memoir. Moving forward, now at age 43, Jean Pierre resides with her partner, Suzanne Malvu, the CNN correspondent, and their 6-year-old daughter, Soya, in the Washington, D.C. area. So Joe Biden has placed a gay individual at the press secretary who hates Donald Trump and conservatives, and we expect her to be open and honest with the news media. Is there something wrong with that picture? Well, we know Jen Psaki was not very above board, and we saw the Pinocchios grow on her many times, but let's see what happens now with Jean Pierre, who is going to be the new press secretary. Let's see, it's Karine Jean Pierre. That's who it is. So we'll see how all that works out, but it seems to be the president is lost control of everything happening up there. It seems like he just doesn't seem to be in charge of what's happening. I just don't believe Joe Biden went through the Senate all these years from that small state he's from with such liberal, anti-American philosophy in his mind. Or I don't believe he'd have gotten where he got to. But now he's in as president and being controlled by somebody else who has the anti-American, anti-Judeo-Christian values, anti-capitalism, and pushing him toward that direction and hiring people with this kind of attitude to be the face of the administration. I'm everything Donald Trump hates. So what kind of attitude is that, right? Well, the town of Rutherford is considering a nickel tax increase, according to the fiscal year 22-23 budget proposal submitted by town manager Doug Barrick. The $4,727,767 budget calls for a property tax rate of 59 cents per $100 of valuation. The current rate is 54 cents. Barrick told the council this has been a tough year. We, the administration, do not take budget decisions lightly. The police department accounts for 29% of the town's budget, while the fire and public works department each account for 20%. Administration, the library, recreation, community development, and debt service makes up the remainder of the budget. Two driving factors impacting the budget, according to Barrick, are inflation and the labor market. We are experiencing inflation levels that haven't been this high since the 1980s. Things are costing more. The labor market, he noted, is changing rapidly, and we have to be able to compete to retain our employees and attract new employees. So they're proposed a 5-cent tax increase. You've been hearing about Disney World, I guess, down in Florida, how they've gone all woke and adding a lot of gay characters even to their TV shows. Well, Disney's stock has plummeted amid embrace of the woke politics, according to Art Moore. Worst Dow performer amid campaign against Florida parental rights law. For 25 years, WorldNet Daily has been exposing people like this. This is where this article's from. Shares of the Walt Disney Company have dropped 23.5% since the entertainment giant declared it would fight Florida's parental right laws and exposure of the entertainment giant's radical LGBT activism targeting children. So they are feeling the punch of that decision to go woke, and it may not be the last of it just yet. All right, folks, let me again ask you if you know someone that would love to be a cabin leader or a food service manager for the summer and can work at South Mountain Christian Camp this year. They'd love to have you. If you help spread the word, just contact them at South Mountain Christian Camp. And one way, you can go to www.southmountainchristiancamp.org/employment. Find out more about this. If you have those of you coming home from college and have the right attitude toward children and Christian faith, then they'd be glad to have you as a cabin counselor or maybe in food preparation, food service manager. So contact them at South Mountain Christian Camp. Jen Collins would like for you to come to work for them over there. 21 minutes till 9 o'clock. My Great America coming up here in just a few moments with Jim and Butch. If you can imagine, if you will, quality primary health care without all the hassles of insurance paperwork. Now, I know some of you don't have insurance and you hesitate to go to the doctor. You know you need to, but don't have insurance. You're afraid to go to the doctor. Well, get in touch with Brock Family Care. It's available to you and your family from Brock Family Care. Family medicine the way it ought to be. No insurance to deal with, general primary medical care, chronic disease prevention and management, urgent care, medication management, and so much more. Brock Family Care is a membership-based model where patients pay the primary care provider directly through monthly or annual fees rather than paying through an insurance provider. Not accepting any forms of insurance cuts out the hassles and allows for more personalized and affordable health care. It may be time to move into a health plan like this one for your family or your business. It's worth looking into, isn't it? Call today for more information. Here's the number, 828-382-7782. Contact them. Look up on the website at brockfamilycare.com. Find out more about this amazing family care operation that can help you and your family stay protected without the hassles of the insurance. All right, take a little pause here. Since we don't have the network stuff to roll down the line, I'm going to go ahead and take a little break and entertain you with some classic oldies music and get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Butch is in the building, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Stand by. morning, Butch. We're themeless this morning. How are you doing?
We are themeless only because tell people what the Phantom is, by the way.
It's a name for our computer system that has all the programming involved inside it. We have everything programmed, the music and the networks come through the same computer.
Okay.
If the networks are there, it just comes through the computer. The computer's dead. Networks won't feed either, so it can't play the music except audibly. So we'll be spinning CDs all day today until they get it fixed.
You know what, though, Jim? You know what? You have a living example. Folks, there's a living example right now of Jim Bishop staying positive in the midst of all that technology warfare.
Well, it doesn't help to be dragged down. It started off real bad this morning.
Right.
I called Lou over here, and then she called the computer guy. We called her engineer, and the engineer had some deaths in his family. So it's been one thing after the other. Then Butch shows up all happy and grinning this morning and makes me feel better.
Great. Well, you know what? We're called to walk together. That's the song we sing at my church. And typically, folks, here with My Great America with Jim and Butch, we start out with our theme song. And, you know, Jim, you had a great insight to pick that for My Great America because that the song really represents what the best of America is all about. And just a quick reminder, and it just came close to home. I used to live in Colorado Springs. Those of you that are history buffs will remember that the song was written by Catherine Lee Bates as a poem in 1893, and it was first published in 1895. It was combined with music that was composed by a church organist named Samuel Ward in 1910. And then Bates wrote the poem after a journey to the top of Pikes Peak in Colorado. I used to have a 50-yard line view from our home of Pikes Peak. Absolutely beautiful. She said the views there inspired her. Now, it's beloved by many as a true representation of the nation's principles here in America, yet it's disparaged by many others as being outdated and meaningless. The song still carries a lot of weighty meaning, not just for old people like us, Jim, but for anyone that listens to the verses. So this is how we typically will start out our program. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Now, there are other verses, Jim, and let me tell you what those are because they're really important to what our country is all about. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet whose stern, impassioned stress a thoroughfare of freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for halcyon skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the enameled plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till souls wax fair as earth and air, and music-hearted sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrims' feet, whose stem impassioned stress, a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till paths be wrought through wilds of thought by pilgrim foot and knee. Oh, beautiful for glory tale of liberating strife, when once and twice for man's avail men lavished precious life. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till selfish gain no longer stain the banner of the free. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till nobler men keep once again thy whiter jubilee.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. You know, I've often thought and wondered why that couldn't be our national anthem, because it speaks of where we are in terms of the beauty of America and God blessing America. And I like that song.
I like it a lot. And you know what, Jim, it's a little bit like the old hymns. I grew up in churches, independent Baptist churches, Baraka Baptist. I mean, I remember sitting in a row with the blue-haired ladies behind me, one of which had a vibrato you could drive a truck through. And I'm not saying that loosely. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They were just really wanting to praise God in their twilight years. And those old hymns had meat to them. Yeah, I've said this before. So often, the new worship songs we have makes Jesus your homeboy and God your buddy.
Yeah.
And the reverence and the fear of God is lost in so much of it.
Yeah. I find difficulty to find reverence with some of those type songs, and I wish and pray that there are more people like the lady who wrote this particular song that had that kind of pride in America, that they indeed could pen some of the same things about how much they love America. I love America, and I know you love America. But a lot of folks who don't take pride in America anymore, and I sorrow about that.
Right, and you know what? Through the years, through work and ministry and just God's favor, I've had the opportunity to go to every inhabited continent, 104 countries or so, and every time I've come home, it's home. Yeah. And we take for granted what we have here as a nation. We take for granted what we have here as a county. And, you know, Jim, I want to say this again, and it may be like a drum that's being beat and nobody's listening, but I'm going to say it again. This is not a time, as we approach this local election, for us to traffic in anything other than the truth.
Yes.
The truth. And, you know, I got up again this morning and I said, I looked at headlines, I looked at social media posts, you know, the nation, locally, here in North Carolina. I asked the question, Jesus, am I loving everyone? Is there anyone that I have angst against? You know, an ex-spouse, somebody that was a business partner that did me wrong. You know, there are a lot of reasons for all of us have been hurt. All of us have been potentially offended. You know, I remember I was in a business partnership in Dallas, came up with an idea on the back of a napkin for something called Light Source, which is the first audio streaming of ministry broadcasting in America. And the company that I had, the KMA companies, way early on. This is when I first had the occasion to meet Mark Cuban, who everybody knows who he is today. And he didn't have enough furniture in his office at that time. That's how far back it went. But we came up, you know, we were scribbling on the back of a napkin. And one time I said, wouldn't it be great if we were able to stream ministry programming, put it all in one place, and have an audio broadcasting platform on the internet? This was way back in like the early 90s. And that idea ended up birthing something called Light Source. And Light Source, about 6 months after I left my partnership in Dallas, sold for, I think, $14 million. And I was not part of that deal. I could have been really bitter about that, Jim. You know, it was on the back of a napkin with me doing my unregulated creative sketching of, wouldn't it be interesting if we came up with such an idea? You know, it was hard to have a marriage after 23 years that ended. I was hurt, and I was wounded. And that fueled alcoholism in my life that came on later on. So we can choose to stay in the muck, in the mire of our sadness, of the sordid tales of life. We all have been hurt. But Jim, like Sandra Norris, who's touched the lives of so many people in this county.
Yes.
A former teacher at RS
East, I believe.
East, okay. I've learned you got to get that right. You got to get that. You got to get right talking about Duke and UNC, and you got to get right talking about the high schools. But she will often say to me and say to everybody, it's a choice. It's a choice. We make a choice. So as we approach this election, I want to let you know that I've had conversations with virtually all of the candidates. And we've had candidates that have come to our church in a Word of Faith fellowship, and they've had to deal with, oh, you're a secret member there, or oh, the church is somehow putting money into your campaign. Oh, all of this nefarious, like dark comic book stuff that sometimes people get into. Now, I'm not discounting the fact that we need truth. We need to know what truth is. We need to ask questions that are honest questions that are driven by a desire for truth. But if you're just desiring to get in the middle of a lot of rumors and innuendo, that doesn't take us anywhere closer to truth, and it's ultimately truth that sets us free. And so they'll remain unnamed, but I have sent some verses, a set of verses, Jim, to 5 of the people that are running for office right now. And I'm not going to tell you who they are. But I've done it purposefully, and these are the verses that I sent to them, along with the encouragement to just keep going to Jesus. It's what we learn in our church. Go to Jesus. John 5:30 makes it very clear that Jesus only did what the Father bade him do. We can be certain 100% of our prayers will be answered if we're praying the will of God. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. If I'm praying, Jim, God's will, 100% of the time, that prayer is going to be answered. So I felt prompted to privately, quietly send these verses to there's 5 or 6 of the different candidates who I knew were bearing the weight of some things. Luke 6:27-36. But I say to you, this is Jesus speaking, who hear me and pay attention to my words, love, that is, unselfishly seek the best or higher good for your enemies. For your enemies. Make it a practice to do good to those who hate you. Bless and show kindness to those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Whoever strikes you on the cheek, offer him the other one also. Simply ignore insignificant insults or losses and do not bother to retaliate. Maintain your dignity. Whoever takes away your coat, do not withhold your shirt from him either. Give to everyone who asks of you. Whoever takes away what is yours, do not demand it back. Treat others the same way you want them to treat you. If you only love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. If you lend money to those from whom you expect to receive it back, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners expecting to receive back the same amount. But love, that is, unselfishly seek the best or higher good for your enemies. And do good and lend, expecting nothing in return, for your reward will be great, rich, abundant, and you will be sons of the Most High, because he himself is kind and gracious and good to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, responsive, compassionate, tender, just as your heavenly Father is merciful. How can we do that? We cannot do that in our own strength. We can only do that if we're born again and the Spirit of the living God allows us to look people in the eye who are disparaging us, who are hating us, who are trafficking in false rumors about us, who are trying to hurt us, and in the face of that, legitimately say from the bottom of your heart, you know what, I love you. I had the opportunity to practice that this week. Somebody was talking to me and they said, I just have to tell you, you go to a cult, you hurt babies, you hurt children, you're paying off all the local officials, you're involved in white-collar crime, you're a church filled with misfits, you're crazy, you're weak, and you've been seduced into a cult, Butch. I mean, I had somebody say that to me.
Really?
Yeah. And, I've been called a lot of things, and I want to say this respectfully. I haven't been called weak-minded much in my life. But I did, with humility, say to them, I don't know what it is that caused all of this in you, but I do want you to know this, and it'll be proven over time. I really love you, because not just because I'm compelled to, but because I love you in the sense that I want you to know what truth is. So a lot of what I do some weeks, in addition to hosting the podcast and helping out a law firm in Shelby, is I want to be a purveyor of hope and a purveyor of truth, Jim, because what ends up happening is if we get half-truth in anything, politically, business-wise, and we camp on the half-truth, the evil one, Satan, the father of lies, all he knows to do is to lie and to teach those that are not submitted to Jesus to lie. What ends up happening is you just live in a dark, dark world, and it doesn't get better.
You know, it seems, I don't know how I've really admired many of your members from afar. Many times. I'm not a member of the church. I've attended several functions, weddings, and graduations.
Yeah, you're a deacon at Florence Baptist Church.
Deacon at Florence Baptist
Great
church. Teach a Sunday school class.
Yeah.
But I would admire many folks that I know over there as friends. And I don't understand how, I guess, based on what you just said, I guess I should understand it, how you folks can face constant turmoil and throwing your face and calling you names and accusing you of things that we know is not existing. How you face that every day?
Well, you know, what I love is I love the example of our pastor, Jane Whaley, and then other ministers that are there. We believe we're all called to be ministers. I'm a minister in the county and the community because if there's hurt, there's need, somebody that needs the love of Jesus, I'm responsible to be the hands and feet and voice of God in those moments. But you know what? We take very seriously about blessed are those of you that are persecuted for my name's sake. Why? Because great is your reward in heaven. This life that we live, Jim, if you ever go to a cemetery, you look at a tombstone, and it's got a date and a hyphen and a date. You got the two bookends there, and it's all about how we answer the question, what will you do with Jesus in the hyphen? This world is not our home. Hebrews 11:13 says, these all died in the faith, not having received the promise, but confessing from afar they were strangers and aliens on the earth, longing for a heavenly country. This earth is not our home. I mean, that's a song that's sung. This earth is not our home. We're just a passing through. But it's not just passing through. We were born to be born again. And so what we do with Jesus, the Jesus question is the most important question of our life. And so to answer your question, how do we deal with the persecution? I think it makes us stronger. It makes us stronger, and it teaches us to operationalize, with God's help, the Spirit of the living God, verses that he's given us. Jesus was terribly maligned. He came into his own, meaning his own community, and his own what? Received him not. He was rejected by those that knew him. It's like, this is the carpenter's boy? How can he preach this way? He has no authority. And yet the words of the living God and the God-man, Jesus, who part of the Trinity, the God-man, he perfectly God, perfectly man. And his words are ones that have changed the course of humanity. Every single one of the billions of people who have ever lived and have had their dreams and their hopes and their desires have been born and lived and died here on terra firma, this celestial ball that God created. And so think it not strange when fiery trials come upon you, it also says in Scripture.
I think it's the frustrating thing, though, is the people in leadership positions, including ministers of various denominations, make these accusations based on what they hear and not on what they know.
Right.
And that, to me, that's not Christian. If you get the facts, then make your decision based on the facts. And that's not happening. Based on the fact of what they heard somebody say, or what they read in the paper, or somebody said this. Well, that's not Christian living. That's not what Christ teaches. Get the facts, and if there's something there, then let's expose it.
Right. And let me make this very clear. If there's ever a case of wrongdoing or people being hurt or whatever, I've been a national adoption advocate. 2 of our children are adopted. I've been real involved in that arena and foster care and the like. These accusations that have been made against the church are just not true. And I mean, Jim, you know this about me. I mean, I've consulted with groups like the Billy Graham Organization and Focus on the Family and Concerned Women for America and American Center for Law and Justice and lots of conservative organizations. I mean, the reality is I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. And I have never in my entire life known, seen, or now been a part of, going on 4.5 years, a community of faith that is more committed, engaged, vibrant, accountable, and seeking the will of God as the one that I'm in. It's not to say that there aren't people that are loving Jesus. There are all around the world. But I know God planted me here. I'm not going anywhere. And there's not an assault that can come against me or any of us that is going to deter us from, though none go with me, still I will follow. And we've got to get to a place where it says in Scripture, though the fig tree never blossoms, and there are no cattle in the stalls. It's that great set of verses in the Old Testament. Yet will I praise thee. I'm not concerned about my temporal surroundings. I don't need people to like me. I'm not striving to please man. There's one entity in the universe I want to please. That's God. That's God.
There may be those theological points that we differ on, and there are theological points.
Yeah.
I differ with other Southern Baptist churches.
Sure.
I'm sure as I teach a Sunday school class once a month, there may be points in my lesson that some of the class members disagree with me, the way I interpret the. Disagreeing on theological reasons is no reason to fall out with somebody.
Right.
As long as keeping the main thing, and that's what many people are not doing, is keeping the main thing. They want to work on hearsay, and well, I don't agree with what they do, the way they do this. Well, fine. Don't agree with that, but don't turn against somebody because they wear a red pair of shoes and they should be wearing black, kind of thing. It's ridiculous to fall out with somebody because you don't agree with them on a philosophical or judicial or a theological way. And that's my opinion.
Jim, you're right on the mark there. And, as I work on a little story related to WCAB, by the way, you and I were talking the other day in the morning program.
Yes.
Over 17,500 episodes over 57 years continuously. Now, you weren't part of all of those, but it's the truth that over 57, I'm writing up a little submission to give to the Daily Courier and some other publications. Over 57 years, more than 17,500 programs. And you know what I know about you? I know exactly what you said is how you live your life. We're going to focus on those things about which we agree. Listen, we have convictions in my church.
Sure.
They're not rules. They're convictions.
Right.
The convictions are based on what? Our understanding of God's Word, which is what? The infallible expression of God's purpose and plan for all of us in this world. So there are people that interpret Scripture differently, but our interpretation of Scripture yields to certain convictions that we have that we're not out there banging people over the head with. We've chosen to live this way in a country that gives us the religious freedom to do that, not hurting anyone else, wanting to be good neighbors and active in our community, to love, support, encourage, and care for those who are around us. And when that's a problem for people, Jim, we understand there's a spiritual war that's there. But what does not help is to respond defensively, to respond as a national intercollegiate debate champion, which with humility I was. I don't debate people at all. I tell them my story. Once I was blind, now I can see. Jesus is the one who did that. I want you to know my Jesus. And I make it very clear to people, if my political positions ever get in the way of sharing my Jesus with somebody, it's not Jesus that's going to be mortgaged, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to take anything political and put it on the hook on the wall.
Sure.
And make it very clear to people, look, that's politics. Our solutions are not going to be all wrapped up in who's in the White House or who's controlling Congress. So I'm on a journey. Look, I'm painfully aware of the things God needs to change in me, but I'm also aware of the wiles of the devil. And one that circles back, I'll say this real quickly, with our church is there's allegedly a set of 126 rules that we have. 126 rules. Now, I'm going to make this very clear. That list of rules was generated by someone who left the church angry, bitter, and disaffected, who has purposed in his heart to hurt the church. And he still has family in the church, and the family is loving and caring, and I'm very involved in their lives. So whenever you hear stuff like that, oh, that's that place that's got those rules. I just want to let you know, when I came here 4.5 years ago, I could feel bad. Nobody handed me the rule book. I didn't get one. But that's a classic case of, especially with social media and digital things, people take that and they say, hey, did you see? And they post it and it gets reposted. If you ever have a question, I'm going to do this again. If you ever have a question about what you've heard about our church, what you think about our church or what you're curious about with our church. And I've had people say you're foolish doing this, but I feel prompted to do it. You can call me at 828-755-5141. I'm Butch. I'm a real person. It's the blue jacket. This is Jim. He's got the green shirt on today. And God's called us to spur each other on to good works, Jim. And look, I don't have it all right. Like I said, I'm very aware of what God wants to change in me. I have a lot of systems He needs to dismantle. I have a lot of times I default to ways that I've done things and I haven't inquired of Jesus, and I have to repent and say, God, please forgive me. Because what I know is when I try to do it in my strength, it may seem like it works in the short term, but the wheels will come off.
Oh, yeah.
I have encyclopedias of case studies of Butch Maltby trying to do it in his own strength, and at the end of the day, all it does is create a mess.
Yeah, when we get out of the way, things happen better. If we get out of the way and let the Lord work in our lives, it does a whole lot better than if we try to run it ourselves.
Right. And, you know, I had somebody recently that listens to My Great America with Jim and Butch, and they said, you know, it's so interesting. You and Jim just kind of talk and open up your hearts with each other. And I said, you know what? We do. We do, and it's born out of, now that we've known each other a few years, we've walked through some things together. We've walked through deaths and discouragements, and you know what? I choose life, Jim. I choose to focus on the good things God is doing. I had a phone call this past week from my daughter, Micaiah, who struggled with, she's 28 now, struggled with heroin and meth addictions. She is the face of America's opiate crisis to me. And she was in the hospital for 5 weeks up in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, on her way to a drug rehab for 4 to 6 weeks. And it was a sweet phone call. And I said, Jesus, thank you. She's still alive.
Yes.
She's been in such dark places. Thank you, she's still alive. Thank you, we're still in a country where we can have these kind of conversations. Thank you, I live in a county, in a community, in a country where I can read God's word and talk about what God's doing in my heart, Jim. We have so much to be thankful for. And what people can do today to put their stake in the ground for the county and for their own lives and the lives of their family is to say, I am going to choose life. I'm going to let God direct what I do. I'm not going to get stuck, let the ox of my life get stuck in the ditch of despair. I'm going to choose life and let God inflame in me His goodness, His grace. We can only give away what we possess. So if your cup is dark and bitter and you're trying to encourage other people, stop. Get your own heart right. And then the fresh streams of living water will come from the throne room of grace, and you'll be able to share that with everyone around you, Jim, just like we try to do with each other.
Absolutely. It's been another good program, in spite of the fact we didn't have the theme music, but you did that theme very well when you sang it.
Well, and you know what, Jim? I was merciful because I was going to stop and wait for you to join in with me, but I know you've been talking all morning, and friends love each other, and I sure love you.
God bless America.
God bless America.
And we'll do not have the theme going out, but we will have to jump into some recorded music, and we'll do that as our computer guru now is here working on the Phantom, and hopefully he'll have things together for us, and we'll get back in the regular program. Meanwhile, God bless you.
God bless America.